Hello friends. In today's video we are going to talk about one of very prominent and very big leader in the Indian freedom struggle, and he got a rise in the era of 1930s. It was the same era when the political ideologies were in the state of flux. They were in the state of keep changing constantly, and on the other hand, where the people were stick to certain ideologies, they were disillusioned over certain ideologies, can't see anything other than that. This was the man who come up with the practical possibilities and practical solutions. And regardless what that move impact to his fame after the independence, he always make a move with a clarity. And if I say he was the person, he was a man with a clarity of whatever move he was making, so it doesn't be wrong. So let's start with this video. So let's talk about the Indian freedom fighter Subhash Chandra Bose.
But the enemy is ruthless and desperate, and he is armed to the teeth. Against such a brutal foe, no amount of civil disobedience or of sabotage or of revolutionary terrorism can be of any avail. If therefore we want to expel British power from India, we have to fight the enemy with his own weapons. The enemy has already drawn the sword.
Subhash Chandra Bose was born on 23rd January 1897 in Cuttack, Odisha. He was a very well-known and a prominent Indian revolutionary in the independence movement against the British rule of India. Bose was a contemporary of Mr. Gandhi, at the times sometimes as an ally or sometimes as an adversary. Bose was known for the militarical approach to independence or for his push to socialist policies. He was not very much convinced with the non-violence policies of Mr. Gandhi. Mr. Bose was the son of a wealthy and prominent Bengali lawyer. Bose studied at Presidency College, Kolkata, from which he was expelled in 1916 for nationalist activities. He graduated from Scottish Churches College. Later on, he moved to Cambridge University, England, to prepare for Indian civil services. In 1920, he passed the civil service examination, but in April 1921, after hearing of the nationalist turmoils in India, he resigned from his candidacy and hurried back to India. In his early life of political activity, Bose joined the non-cooperation movement started by Mr. Gandhi, who had made Indian National Congress a powerful non-violent organization. Bose was advised by Mr. Gandhi to work under Chittaranjan Das, a politician in Bengal. His political activities led to his imprisonment in 1921. In 1924, he was appointed as a Chief Executive Officer of Kolkata Municipal Corporation when Mr. Chittaranjan Das was a mayor. Bose was soon after deported to Burma because he was suspected to connection with some secret revolutionary movement. In 1927, Mr. Bose elected as the President of Bengal Congress. Shortly thereafter, he and Mr. Jawaharlal Nehru became the two General Secretaries of Indian National Congress. Well, in that point of time, Indian National Congress also comprised within itself slight differences of ideologies. So, the more aggressive left-wing faction was represented by Mr. Subhash Chandra Bose and Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, and they were little against the more compromising right-wing Gandhian faction. In 1930, when the civil disobedience movement was going on, Bose was already in the detention for his associations with underground revolutionary group, but at the same time he was elected as a mayor of Calcutta while in prison. Not only for his involvement in civil disobedience movement, but for his organized protest and organized political activities, British government was little scared, because of which Mr. Bose was arrested and re-arrested for several times after civil disobedience movement. In between, he got affected with tuberculosis as well, for which he went to Europe for its cure. He returned back in 1936 from Europe, and day by day Bose became increasingly critical to Gandhi's more conservative economics as well as his less confrontational approach toward independence. Bose was gaining more popularity day by day. To put him in a compromising mode, in 1938 he was elected as the President of Indian National Congress. Then he formed a planning committee which formulated a policy of broad industrialization. Bose's economic thoughts were more on the notion of cottage industries and benefiting from the use of country's own resources. But these economic policies doesn't harmonize the Gandhian economic thought. Bose's vindication came in 1939 when he defeated a Gandhian rival for re-election. But for his habit of making point and reasonable argument always, he used to be called as a rebel president and felt to be bound to resign because of lack of Gandhi's support. In Nazi Germany, Bose came under the protection of newly created Special Bureau for India that was guided by Adam. He and other Indians who had gathered in Berlin made a regular broadcast for German-sponsored Azad Hind Radio in the beginning of January 1942 that used to come in English, Hindi, Bengali, Tamil, Telugu, Gujarati and Pashto. After some time, the Japanese invasion of Southeast Asia, Bose left traveling German and Japanese submarines and by plane, and in May 1943 he arrived in Tokyo. In July 4th, 1943, he assumed the leadership of Indian independence movement in East Asia and proceeded with Japanese aid and influence to form a trained army of about 40,000 troops in Japanese-occupied Southeast Asia. On October 21, 1943, Bose proclaimed the establishment of Provisional Indian Government, and he was planning with his Azad Hind Fauj alongside Japanese troops to march to Rangoon and then march to overland to India. After the joint forces of Japan and Azad Hind Fauj captured Burma, they led to India. In one of my videos with the name Battle of Kohima, I have briefed about the planning, strategies and the consequences of Battle of Kohima and Imphal. If you want, you can check it on my channel. So on 18 March 1944, they reached to Indian soil. On 18th March 1944, after reaching to the Indian soil, the Japanese forces leading to Kohima and plains of Imphal. In the stubborn battle in the mixed Indian and Japanese forces, they were lacking with the Japanese air support and were defeated and forced to retreat. The Indian National Army, also known as Azad Hind Fauj, nevertheless for some time succeeded in maintaining its identity as a liberation army, based in Burma and then Indochina. But with the defeat of Japan, the both fortunes ended. Battle of Kohima and Battle of Imphal was not only important as a independence movement point of view, but it was also an important event in the World War II history. A few days after, when Japan announced its surrender in World War II in August 1945, Bose fleeing to Southeast Asia and reportedly died in Japanese hospital in Taiwan as a result of burn injuries from the plane crash, whereas a lot of people used to refuse over his death also. Subhash Chandra Bose was a person of clarity. He stuck to the idea with no compromise over Indian independence. Some of his quotes is enough to clarify this, like, no real change in this history can be achieved by discussions. Freedom is not given, it is taken. Friends, if you like this video, please do like and share, and do subscribe my channel if you like my content. Thank you very much.